What's down, fam? It's your boy Slim South 504. Make sure y'all subscribe to Hooded Jude. You heard me? Let's go.
What's up, folks? This is Shano Barnes, and you already know this shit more than a game, man. You also already know that it's NOLA versus all y'all. And you also know that it ain't YouTube if you ain't subscribed to my dog, Hooded Jude. Come on, man, what are you waiting for? You already know. It's still Who Dat?
What up, family? This your boy The Right, repping that Who Dat Nation all the way here in Florida. If it's YouTube, you gotta subscribe to my boy Hoodie Jude.
What's up, world? It's your boy Carlos Clayton. I'm the host of Uneducated Sports Talk. Subscribe to the big homie Hoodie Jude for everything New Orleans Saints. Who dat?
Hey, this your boy, Dog 17, the host of the Keeping It Real Who Dat Sports Podcast. Just want to remind y'all, go ahead and subscribe to my homie Hoodie Juice channel. And like always, love.
What's good, guys? My name is Zach.
And I'm Nonfiction, and we are Real Fan Sports.
And you need to stop what you're doing right now. Hit that subscribe button and subscribe to your boy, Hoodie Juby.
Hoodie Juby.
What's good? Who Dat Nation, man? Saints football is back. Come on, man. Put some Who Dats in the chat if y'all are happy that Saints football is finally back, baby. Yeah, we lost, but who gives a damn? It's preseason. We get to see the young players play. We get to see what we got on this team, man, who we want to keep for this roster for the season. Also, you know, we got our special guest tonight as well. So make sure y'all do me one good thing. Hit that subscribe button if you are new. Hit the like button as well. And also, make sure y'all grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's talk some Saints football, baby.
Yeah, we in the zone, watch the Saints rise, Kellen Moore's game plan, yes, no surprise, Rashid Shaheed flying, catching that light, Chris Lawrence magic, making defenses right, Hoodie Jube on the screen, we hype it up, Saints Nation stand tall, never gonna give up, Saints on a mission, watch them take flight, in the dome under lights, it's a beautiful night, championship dreams, we're ready to score. With Hoodie Jube and the crew, we're wanting more. Demario Davis bringing a tackle heat. Cam Jordan rushing, can't escape defeat. Tyrann Mathieu lurking, he's a defensive ghost. New era in New Orleans, yeah, we want it the most. Touchdowns on the board, the crowd goes wild. Feel the energy surge like a hyped up child. Saints on a mission, watch them take flight. In the dome under lights, it's a beautiful night. Championship dreams, we're ready to score. With Hoodie Jube and the crew, we're wanting more. So here's to the Saints, let the victory blow. Red Coast, we prop with the San Diego.
What's good, Who Dat Nation? Welcome back to another live podcast. And come on, man, y'all know the saying. There ain't no YouTube without your boy, Hoodie Jube, y'all. I hope everybody's having a great Sunday because your boy, Hoodie Jube, had an amazing Sunday. Got to go to church, hang with some friends and some family. And also, man, we get to watch some Saints football. Finally, man, we got to see a little bit of Tyler Suggs, a little bit of Rattler, a little bit of Hayner, and also a little bit of that defense, man. Shout out to the defense today, looking good no matter who the heck was on the field. They did pretty damn good. But yeah, man, we're about to start the show, but you know we don't start the show unless we have my co-host on the show. Come on, man. Y'all already know he's going to keep saying it over and over. This is your show, which I don't give a damn, because at the end of the day, you are the new co-host to this channel, man. We don't go live without our guy, Logan, unless he just retires from the YouTube side and takes it big, with the other reporting job. But, at the end of the day, man, we love you on here. Everybody loves your knowledge of football, and love your thoughts as well. So let's bring him on. Y'all might know him as the Soul Man. Or you might just know him because he's all over Twitter talking about any Louisiana sports that you can think of. My guy, Logan! What up?
What's going on, Hoodie? Thanks for having me on as usual.
Mm-hmm. Always a blessing to have you on. And shout out to Logan today, y'all. He brought me a gift today, and I got it right next to him because I wanted to give him a special shout out. So he came to church with me today. We, hung out like we've been doing, man, on Sundays, going to church. And he said, hey, man, here's a gift for you. And everybody remembers Carl Gredison a couple weeks ago had that little thing in Slido, gathering, you got to meet, greet him and all that. Well, Logan, got to go meet him and greet him. And, they were passing out, Carl Gredison's, pictures with a signature on it, right? Well, Logan said he already brought his own pictures and got some signature as well. And he got an extra free one. He said, what I'm going to do with 2 signatures. So what he does, he brings it to your boy, Hoodie Juice. And now he's got a Carl Gredison, man, signature right here. He's going to be the next Saints GOAT. He's going to follow in Ken Jordan's footsteps. And he's going to be the next sack leader. Or is it going to be Chase Young? I don't know. They both good, though. So let's see who does that. But Logan, man, I appreciate you for that. But guess what? Before we start the show, we got one more special guest in the back that we didn't put on here because it was last minute. Just came in. And everybody should know this person because he is, a host of multiple streams. What if it's from The Real Fan Sports, or what if he's helping out on the Come On In Network? Y'all know who it is. It's my guy, Zach. What up, man?
Yo, what's good, man? Hoodie Logan, what's good, baby? How we doing, man? Yo, that order was crazy, Logan. I think I'm gonna have to start, texting you more often if I can get autographs by being your friend. I don't know. Might have to get a little bit closer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll take you out for lunch if you want, brother.
No, it ain't. I definitely don't like people taking me out for lunch and buying me things. I absolutely do not like that. You can ask Hoodie. He's always offering, and I tell him no every single time.
He was the same way with me the first couple times we met up. I was like, oh no, I got it. I was like, oh, well, you better stop, Hoodie. Better stop.
Hey, that's what I do, though. That's the kind of person I am. I always put people first. I always want to make sure everybody's good around me and taken care of. But, man, I just want to ask y'all both this question, man. How do y'all feel, man? Saints football is finally back. I know it's preseason, but at least it's back, and at least we get to watch some Saints football, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we look got the same answer on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's back. We get to do it. We all get to raise our blood pressure high and all that. We all get to see some crazy Twitter treats, out there as well. Shout out to all y'all crazy fans out there, man. But, I just wanted to start off and give everybody a special shout out real quick before we even get into, some Saints talk today. My boy, real fans, Zach was already in the chat right here with his Saints channel. Who that? We got Jerry, the OG, in the building. Who that to you, brother?
Oh,
we got boy T Dirty in the building tonight. I ain't seen him in a minute. Shout out to you, T Dirty. My girlfriend Brooke in the building as well. Who that to you, Brooke?
It's good, Brooke.
We also got AKA the Scientist in the building. Ain't seen this name in a while, but football season's back, so you're gonna see a lot more people. I see the Nola Chop podcast. Shout out to you, man. Kai the Great.
Kai.
Who that? My boy Chris Foley in the building from the Facebook side. He said, love me some Hoodie Jew. Yeah, we love you, Foley, too, bro. Come on, man. It's football season now. Everybody's coming back in here. I see Hurricane Mike as well. Shout out to you. I also see my brother T.I. You can have whatever you like. Yeah. Come on, man. My boy Slim in the building. Shout out to you, brother. Who else we got up in this thing before we start talking some football? Is this everybody so far? Yeah, everybody so far. But shout out to everybody that's watching. Shout out to 32 of y'all watching, whether you're watching from YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook, man. Hit the like button for me and hit that follow or subscribe button as well as we get this going. I see my guy, Dove17, keeping it real. Who that just popped in. Shout out to you, brother, for popping in as well. But let's talk some Saints football, y'all, today, man. First preseason games, finally get to see some action, besides just from what we hear in practice and all that. And this is just my thoughts overall. I think You finally getting to see what you have, in each quarterback. Both quarterbacks did, good on my part. Jake Haener, barely had nothing to do besides, one or two drives, drew a pick already again, with a bad decision. But other than that, I think both quarterbacks that we realistically thinking that's going to start, whether it's going to be Spencer Rattler or Tyler Suggs, I think they both did good today. And I did want to address this today as well, Logan and Zach. I need to address some of our fans, man. Y'all need to calm it down. It's preseason. Stop trying to drove Rattler out the door already. Stop trying to drove shit at Suggs already. Like, yo, it's preseasons. They're young. This is, Suggs' first year in the NFL. This is Rattler's second year. So, let everything, fall into place. Overall, some people are saying, well, damn, Rattler needs to go. Tyler Suggs did good. At least he scored. Well, this is where I come on and I want to address those things. Well, first of all, Rattler had you in two different scoring positions that we didn't take advantage of. Number one, we could have easily scored a field goal, but no, we said let's go for it on the first drive because he got us down to the 2-yard line. Second of all, if Rattler got us in that scoring position right there and he got us down to the 2-yard line, why are we handing it off out of a shotgun formation at the 5 or 6 yard line? That's another 6 yards you got to get in running yards now when you could have just gave that to Rattler, who just got you that close, to even attempt to go for it, and you don't even put it in his hands to try to do it. So that's not his fault that he didn't get to score that drive because they didn't put it in his hands on that 4th down play. And they didn't decide to go with a field goal. Second of all, we was down, I think, at the 45-yard line or whatever, and they decided to punt instead of giving, Smith or Droopy a nice 55, 56-yard field goal we could have tried. They said it was literally a 55, 56-yard field goal. But you decided to punt because you wanted to see what we got in each new punter since you got rid of the punter from last year. So I understand you want to see what you got in your punters, but that takes away scoring, opportunity again from Rattler. Then Tyler Suggs comes out. Everybody's like, oh, Tyler Suggs looked great. Well, not trying to take anything away from Suggs, but if you looked at when he came onto the field, we had 1 minute and 30 seconds left, right before halftime. That's a 2-minute drill. That defense over there was playing prevent defense. They were playing back, and guess what? Rattler would have did the same exact thing. Went down the field and got us a field goal. Why? Because they were going to throw those slants and get those easy routes all day long because they just playing back, and that's the easiest defense to go against. It's a 2-minute offense. So I think Tyler Suggs did a good job getting us down the field. Rattler would have did the same thing. And then from there, Tyler Suggs did draw a pick 6. Unfortunately, he's going to make a rookie mistake. But guess what? The one thing I'm proud about Tyler Suggs, he didn't give up and let that bother him. He came back on the next drive and literally drew a touchdown, 54 yards to Mason Tipton. So both quarterbacks did good. Yeah. But would I give Sucker a lead over this and that? No, I think they both did good today for what they did. And overall, I wanted to share this on y'all screen as well. If y'all really want to compare quarterbacks, how can you say that one quarterback did better than the other one just because they scored? When you look at it, Rattler had 28 total snaps behind center. Tyler Suggs had 29, so they both have around the same amount of snaps, but one only got to draw 11 times, while the other one got to draw 22 times. So, yes, unfortunately, somebody will get another chance. He got only 1 touchdown and 1 pick, in those 22 passes, while Rattler didn't get no touchdown. He was close, but he didn't get the opportunity to throw on 4th down, decide to run the ball. So I can't really compare each quarterback and say, well, this quarterback had a better day than this one. I think they both had a good play. Now, I would say Tyler Suggs was better if he didn't draw the pick 6. But that pick 6 kind of just drew it off, and then his comeback was really good because I wasn't mad. I'm like, hey, at least that didn't affect you and make you – because, some rookies, when they draw a pick, they continue to do it, and they just, it breaks them down. They're like, shit, why did I do that? But he didn't. He took it like a veteran and just went on and scored a touchdown, which I'm happy about as well. So I'm going to start with you, Logan, first, man. I want to know what your thought is on the quarterback battle, and do you see anybody having a bigger day than each other, or you think it was both kind of like, even with the way they both played?
Well, it seems like there was 2 different kinds of offenses that each quarterback was kind of running. Like, Kellen was kind of doing like a Spencer Rattler kind of offense for him, and then a Tyler Shuck offense for Tyler Shuck, of course. But I want to make myself clear, and Zach knows this too, I don't really have a horse in this race because I don't think either one are really the franchise savior. Yeah. I just think like there may be a stopgap, but at the end of the day, from what I see with my own eyes, I think Tyler Shuck did play a little bit better than Spencer Rattler. I think Spencer Rattler is a better scrambler. I give him that. He can move. But it just seems like Spencer Rattler wasn't getting the ball out quickly enough like Tyler Shuck was. But that's not really their fault. But the offensive line was a huge issue, and big part of it was Dylan Radunz just couldn't stop a cold. And on that play that you're talking about on the 2-yard line, when Kendra Miller got absolutely blasted in the backfield, was because Dylan Radunz was at right tackle, and the defensive end completely just blew by him. And like for me, everyone here has played Madden. Every one of us here has. I know Zach has. The one play that I would have called on that goal line is probably that play out of empty called stick, where you have 2 wide receivers running 2 slants, and you have the tight end running a short route, stop, turn around, catch the ball. That is probably what I would have ran right there. Not inside zone, outside zone with Kendra Miller, but honestly, that was more so on Dylan Radunz. But as for Tyler Shuck, I truly think 2-minute is actually, I think, harder to stop on defense as a defensive player, because when you're going up against 2-minute, it's quick. You gotta tackle somebody, get up, go, set up. You gotta look to the sideline for your play call, this, that, and the other. And it's not really prevent defense. You have to basically just keep running the same defense that you're running until you can get a chance to look over to the sidelines or get the play call in your helmet to change your defense. So I really do think the 2-minute offense is kind of a little bit more difficult to stop. But at the end of the day,
Agreed, yeah.
At the end of the day, I think Tyler Shuck played better than Spencer Rattler. Not by much, even though that touchdown was pretty nice. I say that, but at the end of the day, I think it's neck and neck right now. And also, Kelly can stop with the coach speak. Jake Hayner is not in the running at all. He might be in the running for the UFL as a third string in the UFL, but it ain't going to be a starter.
Jay Live talking about Jay Hayner like that. You're going to upset Jay Live.
I'm probably upsetting Derek Carr too, and I don't care. But at the end of the day, I think quarterbacks are pretty even, but Tyler Shuck played a little bit better.
Okay. What about you, Zach? What you thinking?
Look, the thing with Rattler, I thought his first couple drives were okay. I mean, I talked about this right before the start of the game, how most of the practices have been like 80% pass, 20% run. And we saw in this opening preseason drives where we saw a lot more run, which was kind of as expected. A lot of it going through the middle where we didn't get to see McCoy today. We got to see Will Clapp, and Clapp really wasn't able to create, and then he got hurt. We'll talk about that. I'm sure we'll talk about that later. But that didn't help out the whole situation with Rattler's case. They definitely were trying to run more of a true offense of how you would see it being in regular season, to where it's a mixture of the run and the pass. I don't think there was anything from Rattler that I think like sent out red flags and like the sirens wooing and stuff like that. Outside of the fumble, which was from what Logan said with the offensive line on that right side, and it was really interesting. It was I'm forgetting the names. I think it was 77 and Hegler, who I think is 66. They were over on that right side, and they were really struggling. And then they switched over to the left side once Shuck came in, and they actually played pretty good on that left side, which is weird. Normally it's opposite, but yeah, that's kind of how that worked out. And even though Rattler, I think you posted on here, he had 4 or 5 series and stuff like that. But
there you go.
Yeah. So 5 series from Rattler. I think only 2 of those series were with the normal lineup that you would expect from Rattler, outside of McCoy, who eventually got hurt, and they brought in Simpkins, who ended up playing really well.
I thought he did too. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he played really good. Not expecting to get the reps that he did today. He ended up playing the whole entire game, just about.
And he's not even a center, Zach. That's the crazy thing. He's actually a guard.
Yeah, exactly. And he actually better than most centers I've seen through training camp. So that was actually that was probably the big up point as far as like depth at offensive line was him.
Exactly.
But anyways, I try to collect my thoughts. I just think the offense was set to where it was like trying to get slow drives. It was the short passes, run game that they were trying to get going, and they weren't really able to do that with Rattler. Obviously, Shuck comes in at the 2-minute period, 2-minute play calling, where it is favorable, like Logan said, for the offense because it's quick reads, first reads, either over the middle or out of bounds, snap, throw, and everything goes good. And it was good to see that Shuck was able to get those quick completions, but I'm not like overvaluing that based off of what we saw from Rattler for the first 25 minutes of the game. I like how we came into the second half and Shuck had a very bad play. I think Shuck still has a really big issue with going through his first option and reading it. I mean, the whole time he snapped the ball and he's staring at Pettis, and it's not like this is a super short route. I mean, it's 10 yards and he goes out to the sideline. I'd love to know that that's the first option for him to snap, look left, then go right, knowing this is where you want to go with the ball, and then either deciding that it's a completion or it's a throw out of bounds, rather than snap, stare at Pettis, and then have a bad pass on the ball in general. And obviously the ability to be able to come back out after a pick six, throw a big play to Mason Tipton, if we have to really break down that, it was amazing. Mason Tipton with a great cut, get past the cornerback. We also see him as he gets past the corner, instead of drifting towards the middle of the field where the safety is hanging, he drifts his route out towards the left. Chuck also reads that, make sure he puts that ball over to the left side of the field, right into the pocket in the breadbasket for Mason Tipton to get a touchdown, who I thought should have got more reps earlier on in this game, because to me, I think he's better than Brandon Cooks at this point in time. I'll make that argument. We talked about that a bunch. And then outside that with Chuck, it was like the 9-yard sack that he took when he was scrambling around. It's like, I know there was a throwaway option at some point in time there, and you're trying to go ahead and do a little bit too much. And there was another play, I think that was either just after or just prior, that I would have liked to see him go ahead and show his legs a little bit and go get a couple of yards. But if I'm looking at the quarterback battle as a whole, I'm not even judging Jake Haener's time out there on the field. It wasn't enough time. He came in. The interception came in a place where you're just trying to throw the ball because you're already down by 10. It really don't matter. And so I'm not judging it, but I don't think there is a leverage of Shuck and Rattler through either of those their time out on the field.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but just the kind of... Oh, you can go, Logan, go.
There's one thing I wanted to include, because I know Zach's seen it. If you go back and look at Tyler Shuck's touchdown, someone had a very critical block to help set that up. And it's someone that everybody wants cut, but he made an incredibly smart play and an incredibly smart block to help Tyler Shuck, and that was Clyde Edwards-Helaire, sniffing out the blocks like a running back is supposed to do in situations like that.
Logan, I think I didn't see much of Kendre blocking, but I think both Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Cam Akers did a really good job today at picking up a block when was necessary today. I thought both of them looked really good, which is a really good sign just to show the depth of what this running back game is, besides the fact that we weren't able to actually get yards in the run game.
Yeah, I agree.
So the one thing I do want to touch up on, like I said, at the end of the day, I feel like both quarterbacks did good. So like me just giving it a grade today. I think Spencer Rattler, I'll give him a B, and I think Tyler Shuck, had a B as well. Like I said, I didn't see enough from both people, because like at the end of the day, we can always say like Rattler had an okay day. We didn't really see nothing different. But the one thing that I seen different from last year, like in a real game compared to this one, in preseason, he just seems more poised, more comfortable in the pocket. He's not seeing as, scared. Like when you're a rookie, when you get in there, you're kind of like worried. You don't want to make a mistake as a rookie. He was poised. He was there looking through his reads, trying to find whatever he can. If nothing was open, he just ran with it. And I'm hoping, at the end of the day, as I'm rethinking about it, I'm hoping Tyler Shuck had a better day than Rattler. You drew double the passes. When you think about it, like you said, there'll be a more even with the ball. Like run with Kendre Miller. Shout out to Kendre Miller, staying healthy through this game and actually looking pretty damn decent. And I'm trying to get back into trying to get back into the football shape, right? But at the end of the day, when you run 29 snaps and you draw it 22 times and you only run it 7 times, and somebody only draws the ball 11 times out of 28 times, the other one should look better because you got more passes to look good, while the other one really didn't have it as much. So hopefully that next game for week 2, hopefully we can see more of that as well. Hopefully we see Sucks get a little bit less passes, do a little bit more running, and let Rattler run some more of the passing out, so because I want to see more passing out of them. If we're gonna compare a quarterback, and have a quarterback competition, we need them both to have kind of the same stuff. Can be running one thing for one person and then be running this other thing for the other person and giving them more chances. That's gonna help them, look better. So I need to see a little bit more of that. So next week I need Tyler Sucks with the ones, do the same running play, run a lot with Kendra Miller, pass a little bit, and then I want to see Rattler come out and start passing a lot and get him a 2-minute a 2-minute drill and see how he reacts to the 2-minute drill, if we get a chance, depending on how the game goes. But
yeah,
that's what I want to see. I want to see, more of a fair competition.
Can I interrupt you for a second, Hood?
Yeah, go.
Yeah, I mean, as much as we have a quarterback issue, can we all come into agreement that we have as big of a quarterback issue as we have a wide receiver issue? Once we get past Olave and Shaheed, players getting open. I mean, there was a lot of times where I didn't really enjoy the play calling, where it was a lot of 5 curl, 10 curl, 12 curl. Like there was one play, God, I wish I could remember the exact one, but all 3 receivers are basically running a set yard, turn around, and then nothing was open because it was blanketed defense, and the Chargers defense did a pretty good job at that. And then that all of a sudden put the quarterback into a very big, a tough situation because there was nothing else that they go for, so that put them in struggling situations. So as much as I would like to have seen, Rattler try to thread the needle at certain points or take some shots, as much as I like to see Shuck try to thread the needle and take some shots, there was a lot of times where they just weren't open,
and they took off with it. Both quarterbacks kind of basically ran with the ball. And to be honest with you, just to kind of piggyback off of you, Zach, if you looked at the way how there was nobody open and all of that, at least they made a lot of smart decisions. They were careful with the ball. They drew it out of bounds. For the most part. I mean, yeah, that one pick six, that was a rookie mistake, but after that, he looked like he got back on track and got comfortable from there. So and also Rattler. Because I know a lot of us wasn't really, thinking about it. That was a good pass by Rattler to Bud Means. I didn't know how he got that through there, but that was like a bullet. They said they thought it was a tip pass or something, but in reality, it was just a bullet straight to Bud Means. Hopefully, Bud Means okay. By the way, I heard he's got some type of leg injury, and supposedly the same leg from last year, which hopefully he's okay. And also just to piggyback off you about the receiver room, I'm not as worried. Yeah, I'm worried about the depth behind them if somebody gets hurt, but if they okay to start and everybody stays healthy, I'm okay right now with Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave, and like a Brandon Cooks. I'm okay with that. But the other people that I think that's going to make the roster so far, that's showing me through camp and preseason, Mason Tipton, I think he's got a spot on this roster with the way he's playing, and hopefully, like we said, Bud Means if he doesn't have a significant injury.
I mean, I just. I don't normally disagree with things you have to say, Hoodie. I just strongly disagree with the wide receiver room. I mean, it's just something that worries me so much because even when we saw the run play on that, I think it was like a 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2 situation to Kendra Miller early on in the game, and Brandon Cooks was the lead blocker. He just didn't even attempt to block. And I know it's preseason. He's 31 years old, and maybe he's just not taking preseason so seriously, whatever that may be. But like that's a problem when you're wide receiver 3. Like, yeah, your job is supposed to be open, but Brandon Cooks, you're no longer wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 on a team. Your job is to also block and to make other players look good, and he just didn't. The only other wide receiver that really stood out to me, is Mason. I think Mason Tipton at this point is willing to put in more effort than what Brandon Cooks is willing to put into it. I think Velus Jones, because of his ability to play in multiple different positions, whether that's running back, whether that's at wide receiver, whether that's at special teams, returning kicks, punts, whatever. I think he belongs there. But like you're talking about your Cedric Wilsons, you talk about your Pettis, you talk about Bub Means, and all these guys that there is a position that is just waiting to be taken. Like no one there is sat there at wide receiver 4 that this is our guy. So the job is up for grabs. and I'm not seeing I'm not seeing the potential out of the guys. That's why I disagree a bit with as far as the wide receiver position goes. I just don't think we have outside of our wide receiver one, outside of our wide receiver two, and then wide receiver three is probably given to Brandon Cooks, but is it deserving? I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I would say about like receiver rooms, I mean, after Rasheed Shaheed and Olave, those are our two best receivers. But I mean, if you look at most NFL teams, right, who's got four really solid receivers? The only team I know of right now that has four good solid receivers right now is in the NFC South, and that's the Bucks. You got Mike Evans, you got Chris Godwin coming back, you got Ibuka, and you got what was his name from last year that started? McMillan. So you got them four. That's the only team that I know. Everybody else, has just two good people. They got, what's his name? Deontay Smith and AJ Brown, but after that they don't really have a depth,
Yeah, and I won't disagree with that either. It's not normal to where you have wide receiver depth like past the wide receiver 4, but normally what you have at the wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 position is people that are willing to go ahead and take big blocks and to make impact plays. And I think that we didn't see that out of a lot. And I know I saw Dov just posted that Kevin Austin had a pretty solid game. He had some really good grabs today. He was one of those guys that really shined to me as far as our depth receiver positions. So yeah, you're 100% right. Like you're not meant to have all of them, but I just feel like with the position of wide receiver 3 and wide receiver 4 all up to grabs, that no one has stood out. He's already so stupid.
Yeah. Brandon Good says, "Shit, I'm done blocking. I'm just out here to grow my mustache." Crazy, man. But man, I wanted to ask Logan this question, and I'm gonna ask you this, Zach, as well. We kind of talked about the quarterbacks. We kind of talked a little bit how the receivers were and all that. But I just wanted to know, what was y'all thoughts overall on the offensive line, without Eric McCoy at the beginning. It seems like, Banks and Penny might be a pretty good, Penny got hurt as well. Hopefully he's okay as well. But, they look solid on that side. The right side looked pretty solid with Fuaga and them for the few snaps that they had. And then, from there, once you took, Fuaga and all them out, and like we said, we put Dillon at right tackle, bro, it just started being a disaster for my boy Spencer. Poor thing had to deal with him. But yeah, other than that, I think the O-line was pretty solid with what the starters was put out there. So what was your thoughts, Logan, on the offensive line, with our starters? Not the backups, but, the original starters.
So the starters, they look really good. I mean, Spencer, I don't think was running for his life outside. I mean, Simpkins played really well as the starting center because Clapp was only in there for, I think, 1 or 2 plays and got injured. So It was basically Simpkins with the who was an undrafted free agent, by the way, we just picked up this summer. But Banks looked really good. Pennon looked good at left guard. Ruiz is always up and down. And
he had that one big play that he let through that was bad.
Oh yeah, that was ugly. And then Fuaga, I mean, you got your 2 tackles for a long time. I mean, Banks looked solid. But after that, I mean, I know you said don't talk about the backups, but I mean, there was a couple of players that were back. I mean, Simpkins, we already highlighted him, and then one of the players that was on the right side, Blake Wesley, who we picked up, who played in the UFL, which I feel like more teams should pick up more UFL guys because they're coming in ready to play already anyway. They already kind of got their tires warmed up in a racing kind of metaphor, but
and some maturity as well.
Exactly, they come in ready to play, so. Out of all the backups, I mean, Radens was awful, but I mean, Blake Wesley really, even though he played for a UFL team I very much despise, but he came in and played really well, and I think he has a chance to make this 53. And then Simpkins, I mean, really surprised me, and
same.
I was thoroughly surprised because, like I was telling Zach, he is not a center. He's played guard his whole college career.
I didn't even know that. If I'm being honest with you, I had no idea. Like he looked true at that position.
Right. I mean, a player like that, if they really want to make the team, will do whatever they have to do to make the team, and I really do respect that. Especially somebody that was an undrafted free agent like that. But all in all, the starting offensive line, I'm comfortable with that, and we're hoping that Trevor Penning's injury isn't serious, but. He walked in his own powers. That's a positive sign. But after that, the depth behind the starters worries me. So they might need to, after the preseason's over with and you get go from 90 to 53, they might want to maybe take a look at some of those guys that get cut. Because, I mean, there's going to be probably a lot of good players that get cut. I mean, because just because you get cut from another team doesn't mean you're not good. It's just you can only have
Maybe
53
it didn't work out. Yeah.
Exactly. You can only have 53 players. So if I was the Saints, I would be looking at somebody after this preseason's over with and people are finalizing their rosters.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think we need to look, for some more depth on that offensive line. I mean, you already seen it. Will Clapp went down already as the starter, for this, thing besides McCoy because he was out. But Penny went down, so we had some, injuries already. So I'll definitely start looking, for some offensive line depth. But the other thing I'll be more worried about, too, besides wide receiver depth, is tight end depth because don't get me wrong, Jack Stoll is one of those physical guys that can do a good block tight end, but he's kind of giving me vibes of a Josh Hill. Ain't the best catcher, ain't the best receiving tight end, but he will block and be there for you and be physical for you. Like, he's reminding me of Josh Hill, and I feel like that's why Kellen Moore likes him, because he knows he's a good blocker, he's a physical guy, but the catches is just, Spencer Rattler gave it to him.
Just talk, in my opinion, is on the offensive line. I mean, I think I'm right there with Logan. As far as the starters, I don't feel like they look bad outside of like Eric McCoy because we couldn't get runs going through the middle. And then with your boy coming in to back up Clapp after going down with it seems like a left or a right ankle. I can't remember what side of the leg it was. That's just unfortunate. But even when he was in there, I felt like he was the immediate hole on the offense. Even those two plays that showed that the pressure was going through there. They were trying to get runs up the middle, and they just couldn't. There was like no separation in the inside for Kendre Miller. It was no, and then once he got switched out, there was no room on the inside for the run game for Cam Akers. But once we had 77 and 60 again, I'm don't want to forget names, so I'm just going to name the numbers. When they switched over to the left side, they looked a lot better. But the depth of the offensive line is definitely an issue, and that's just the pains of going through a rebuild right now. Like we're trying to figure out certain pieces. We aren't going to fill them out all at once, but I just think there's no reason not to go into next week and the following weeks leading up to the regular season to not someone gets cut. We know this guy ain't it. Let's go ahead and try out another. And I'm kind of there with it. And as far as tight end goes, yeah, I mean, Stoll is for sure a just full-blown blocking tight end. And his job seems to be pretty much stayed in place. Like that's the guy that's going to go ahead and make the roster. But he's definitely not a tight end that has abilities on the receiving end of the ball. I was kind of upset we didn't see more of Jacobson. I know Jacobson has been a part of the team for a little while now, but I thought he has actually looked really good through training camp. We saw a lot of Welsh, and we saw him. I think he had like 3 receptions today, and he's a little bit deeper down that roster. And we also saw Matavo have a couple of receptions as well. I think he had 1 or 2. But it's hard to judge the tight end room whenever we don't have Foster Moreau and we don't have Taysom Hill that is normally behind Juwan Johnson. I think Stoll has his place because of blocking and just that, but all the other guys is just kind of like where do they go? Where do they fit?
Oh, for sure. So Logan, what's your thoughts on the tight end room?
Well, I mean, we really didn't see a whole heck of a lot of Juwan Johnson. I think he was only out there for 1 or 2 plays. I think that
it wasn't much.
It wasn't much at all, but I mean, after Juwan Johnson, I mean, Jack Stoll, I mean, when Ross was on, he gave him a raving review saying that he has been doing really well in camp and everything, but I don't mind Stoll because Stoll's probably going to be, like you said, Hoodie, I think like one of those Josh Hill kind of players, played a fullback and a tight end because this team doesn't have a fullback. So Jack Stoll, I mean, I think they could use another tight end. They could go out there and sign one, but I'm thinking that they're waiting on Foster to get healthy. I'm almost positive that's what's happening here, but I mean, I don't even think they gave Maliki, our draft pick, a lot of run either today. I have to see what he can do because in college I thought he was a fairly decent tight end at UCLA. He played in the Eric Bieniemy system at UCLA, so I'd like to see more from him, but after that, I think this team could use another tight end, and I don't even know who's available that you can sign. You would probably have to see who gets cut after preseason. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of options out there, but this team could use another tight end.
Would you also think that because the tight end position has been something through college that has been excelled through at least the last couple of years. I mean, obviously we look at the unicorns and Brock Bowers, but we also look at this past draft with Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland, tight end they got picked up by Ferguson by the Rams. The other tight end they got picked up by Seattle. I'm forgetting his name, but there's been a couple. There's been a couple of them. And it's like one of those that I feel like you can address in next year's draft. That's not something that's super necessary to bother with right now.
Yeah, I mean, the tight end. I mean, it's not like it's not like a life or death when it comes to not having another tight end on the Saints right now. Because I mean, I'm sure Kellen Moore is going to probably put a lot, and I mean a lot, on Jawan Johnson this year, and probably Jack Stoll. That's why he brought him over from Philly. So it's just, I mean, and we don't know what Foster is going to look like this year. Foster might come back like in week 3 for all we know. I don't know the extent of his injury. I'd probably have to look more into it. But if your tight ends, and then like I said, Malik Matavo, your draft pick, you don't know what you have in him. I mean, I can't even remember what I had as my player count from. Oh yeah, Cameron Brate. I said he was like Cameron Brate, if anyone remembers him. But it's not the sexiest tight end room at all. But the only metaphor I can come up with is it's not the sexiest tight end room, but you'll still take it. You'll still take her to the dance. That's all I can say about it.
Take her to the dance. We'll take her to the dance then. Hey, by the way, y'all, since we've been speaking a lot so far on this offense, man, let's hop over to the defense who had really great days till the end, till you got some damn people that shouldn't be even on the NFL roster, towards the end. But let's say this. I think we all can agree on this now. Isaiah Foskey got to play almost the whole game, and this man still got outplayed by my boy Diggs from the 7th round pick. And Diggs, I think Diggs going to make the team. And I heard a lot of rumors are going on right now that Diggs has been, really special. And a lot of the coaches like him. And he most likely will have a spot on this roster this year. So, what you think about my boy Diggs?
So, with Diggs, I mean, I'm glad I have all of my stuff still written down. Fado Diggs, I can't believe he lasted until the 7th round, because I had a 4th, 5th round grade on him, and as soon as the Saints drafted him, I was fairly happy. I knew he was going to make the roster, and with this 3-4 multiple scheme, you've seen it. I mean, he had a sack in a preseason game. That's tied for Foskey already, because Foskey only has 1.5 career sacks, I think, in how many years? So Fado Diggs, he's making his 53-man roster. I loved what I've seen from him, and then outside of him, I mean, Chris Rumph, he's a Brandon Staley guy. Yeah. When they signed him, I'm like, that's a Brandon Staley guy, because he played for Staley when Staley was the head coach of the Chargers. He's already familiar with the Staley system. So Foskey is probably bye-bye. See you later, as Mike House says.
That draft was so bad, man. Foskey, Saldivari, all them guys. It was like, golly.
Let's just say, the one thing you can say about that, Dennis Allen messed up, because what I heard, it was either Brian Branch or Isaiah Foskey, and he chose Isaiah Foskey. And Brian Branch is kind of killing it right now in Detroit, so it's just, that was a big miss.
Can we just not talk about anything that has to do with DA? Like, I think
he's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah, No, but I agree with you, Logan, for sure, man. I mean, Rumph and your boy has been playing really good. Another guy that was kind of like on the fence, dude, that I always constantly saw his number around the ball was Jalen Ford.
Yes, that's actually one of the Dolphs guys. I mean,
it's one of the Dolphs guys.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the Dolphs guys. But another guy that didn't play that's one of the Dolphs guys is Moochie Dixon. I'm sure he's very upset about that. But
yeah, he ain't see shit.
Yeah, back to Jalen Ford. Yeah, the defense. I mean, man, I came away thoroughly impressed with the defense. If there's one thing that's the highlight of this game, it doesn't matter who was out there. That defense played really, really well. I mean, there's a bunch of young guys
100%.
out there mixed with, a few vets. I mean, Chase Young is still fairly young, and he's a vet. I mean, you got Carl Granderson. He's a vet. He's like 26, I believe. So the defense did really well. I seen the comment. I know why.
Yeah, you saw it too. Okay.
Yes, I did. But
That's crazy.
Vernon Broughton, I mean, he might have not had a whole bunch of stats, but he was around the ball a lot too. Vernon Broughton got a lot of good pressure. I mean,
he
you
was.
look at all
I think there was only one mistake that I saw his. I called out that I was like, oh, Broughton was off, but he was solid.
Right. I mean, seems like all the defensive draft. I mean, you gotta let me talk about my boy Danny Stutzman. I mean.
Come on.
All over the place.
Hey, hold on, Logan, because there was one play where he got lifted up like they were about to go dirty dancing, bro, about to spin his ass around in the circle. The running back got him, but outside of that, he looked really good. He looked really good.
I didn't care for that one bit. One thing I can say about, I mean, I haven't seen a linebacker wear a neck roll in ages.
I'll tell you, it looked good.
That's old school. That's old school. I mean, I think I told Dolph this. Mentioned this to y'all. I mean, that's James Laurinaitis 2.0. That really is, because James Laurinaitis flew around the ball when he's playing for the St. Louis Rams, and that's exactly who Stutzman reminds me of. Or maybe even better, but I mean, he was all over the place. So I think we're okay at linebacker. I mean, you got Stutzman, Jalen Ford played really good too. So I'm excited.
You know who else you can add? You know who you can also add, who played well today, and I think we're gonna get some good use out of him this year finally because of Stanley's defense. DeMarco Jackson looked really great getting to the quarterback pressure, and it looked like they used him in a lot of blitz packages instead of him trying to cover. Using him like a you know who this is reminding me a lot of DeMarco Jackson is giving me that Zach Bond vibes where you got the guy you didn't use him the correct way, you try to get him the cover, but now you blitzing him and using him like Philly used Zach Bond, and look what DeMarco Jackson doing now with these.
Yeah, and you saw them both on the right and left side as well, like doing some work on both sides. Like, we all saw him back in coverage. He did allow one reception, but they had Blackman come over the top and make a tackle. I think that was in the first quarter, maybe early second quarter. But yeah, no, DeMarco Jackson was someone that I really liked. I mean, the thing that I got from this practice or from this game was comparing it to the practices and training camps that I went to is that the offense looks rough and the defense looks solid. And a lot of time when you see these type of things, you're sitting there, you're like, well, maybe the offense of the Saints in practice just didn't look good, so the defense looked better, and that was the reason why. But after today's game, even though we had 27, but we allowed 20 because of pick 6, I thought the defense actually looked really solid. The biggest struggle is still, and we just cannot get past this, is the mobile quarterback that throws it off. I mean, that was probably the only mistake that I saw from DeMarco in the game. He was playing a spy on Trey Lance because they were getting on the run a lot, and DeMarco is sitting on the backfield like this. And he hedges right and puts those hips all right, and Trey Lance just jets left, where it is a big mental mistake. It's just a big mistake because Lance ran left every single time, and DeMarco went ahead and went right. And as soon as those hits dropped, Lance took off left, and there was no way that Jackson was going to catch up. That was the only mistake that Jackson had all day, was just a little bit of ball knowledge and film work, and also knowing that Lance, through the game, he ran left 3 times in a row in that drive. Don't bite right. Don't bite right. Stay center or go right. Don't bite the opposite way. Come on. But yeah, no, I fully agree.
Hey, you know what? Let's just give a special shout out to Coach Bo coming in here and making an impact on the defensive line, and Dolph just missing somebody else that we didn't even mention who had a safety, but they wanted to call it back. But our boy Christian Boyd, man, powered that board and got all the way through the quarterback. He's looked
good in practice as well, man. And especially on goal line defense, he's looked like scary. During one of the practices I went to, they were doing same situation where the offense is starting at the inside the 5 and defense is trying to cover it. And he had a high pressure on Hainer. He had a pass deflected on Hainer and really lit it up. And he got to show that today. And I love the interview they had today as well from, I think it was Mouton that went ahead and talked with him today. I said today like 30 times, but I just loved his progression in how he spoke about it too. Like just showing like, yeah, he's developing into something special. Could be.
The one thing I can say, I mean, it can't be talked about enough how much good coaching matters, because we have a lot of good talent. And the only great comparison I've always made this comparison, I thank my dad for telling me the story when I was young, is look at 98 Tulane. After Tommy Bowden left, the same players, basically the same roster, they was not that great. They was kind of, they was middle of the road after Tommy Bowden left. Now, Todd Grantham leaves, and then you get Bo Davis in there. The defensive line looks significantly better. You can't put a price on good coaching. I mean, you have to. I give credit to Bo Davis. He been one of the best defensive line coaches in the country, not just at LSU, not just at Texas, but in the country since he's been coaching. So, good credit to him, and then also Brandon Staley. I mean, he might not have been a great head coach, but his defenses have always been pretty stout. And I like Staley because he's also a Vic Fangio disciple. So, I absolutely love that too. So, all around, I love all this.
Shout out to the defense, right? How we was giving them a special shout out. Yeah, the guy gave us some points towards the end, but most of the game when we had the people we were really focusing on was looking good. Now we know we want our rushing defense to be better. When we got towards the end, they started running a little bit more. They were looking better, against these other people. But for the most part, we had them pretty good. And guess what? Shout out to Stanley's defense, because I'm looking back at the game right now at the team stats. Yes, they gave up 148 rushing yards. That was towards the end when they started running too damn much. And at first when Trey Lance, ran in for the touchdown, he kept running. But after that, you didn't hear no more of Trey Lance of running. They found a way to stop him from running. Guess how many passing yards the Chargers had today on us?
I don't think it was much.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you what they had. 100 on the dot. That's it. 100 passing yards. And they had 148 rushing yards. So if you add the passing yards and the rushing yards, that's 248 total yards today. That's it. Saints combined, this for Sucks and Rattler and a little bit of Jake Hainer passing. Our passing was 239. We almost had the same amount of yards, of total yards on them, just in passing today.
So the one thing you can say about the Chargers defense, I mean, they was like top 3 last year, and the DC for the Chargers, Jesse Minter, he was also the defensive coordinator under Jim Harbaugh at Michigan when they won the national championship, when Michigan had the number 1 rated offense in the entire country. And Jesse Minter, he's a young and up-and-comer. He's going to be a head coach very soon in the NFL, and I think the Chargers are going to have a top 5 defense this year. They had a top 10 last year, but I truly believe it, because the last 2 preseason games, even in the Hall of Fame game, their backups and third stringers were really getting after it. So good credit to Jesse Minter and that Chargers defense. So, but I think the Chargers are going to do really well this year. But the offense for the Saints does have to get better. But going up against the stout defense in practice can only make them better. You can only hope. So it's going to be a learning curve for a lot of Saints fans that have not been around that long. Like, maybe like, the 06ers or the 09ers or even the 2018ers. They're in for some growing pains. So, but this team could very well turn it around at some point. Because, I mean, I know everyone's already saying, 3-14 and we're only going to win 1 game. But it's only preseason. I mean, I love watching preseason like everyone else who like to see Young Bucks play. But we don't really know what we have, because, I mean, there's been times where you see all of these teams, they go undefeated in preseason and whoop everybody, and then when the regular season comes, they're absolutely horrible.
Like the Jags.
Yeah, then the horrible teams do well in the regular season. So I think it's not fair to say that we're going to go 1-16. And also want to say for the record, I'm sure a lot of the March for Arch and Tank for Arch people are very upset too.
Oh my God! Oh, just don't like, start Logan. You gotta start him up.
I don't care. I don't care. I'm sure they're very upset because it's like I've been saying since Hoodie, like April, that Arch is not coming out until 2027.
We've been talking about it since February. Like nobody wants to hear it. And we even got the report from Archie Manning saying that he's not going to come out. And you know what people said underneath the comment or underneath the tweet of that? Oh yeah, we'll see. Okay.
Yeah, like Archie Manning isn't a valid source.
Yeah.
Not like that's his grandpa or anything, or that Cooper isn't his son. But anyway, I mean, if you're gonna say that the Saints are gonna be in a running for anybody, and people are gonna hate that I'm saying this, but Garrett Nussmeier, I mean, I know people hate the guy, but Garrett Nussmeier threw for over 4,000 yards last year, and we didn't even play that well. So, and this year he's probably gonna throw for close to 5.
Yeah.
So he's going to be in the running for the Heisman just like Jaden was, and he's probably going to be a top 3 pick. Now, will the Saints be in top 3 territory? I don't think so, but
I don't think so either.
But
hey, by the way, I want to touch off
it may be good for us. That's where it gets hard, man. It's like where is he going to be if we aren't in the top we are in the top 5, top 10. I think we probably be top 10. I mean, like if we had to guess, we're probably around 7 wins. I mean, because our schedule is not hard. But where do we go? Do we go wide receiver early? Do we go ahead and grab tight end early? We can use those. Do we go ahead and keep building on the defense? Do we build? People would be absolutely frustrated if we go offensive line, even though we desperately need offensive line depth. But people would hate it. But go ahead, Odie. I'm sorry, I cut you off like 3 times. My bad, brother.
No, you're good. No, you're good. So what I wanted to touch up on was the defense. Like I said today, held the Chargers to only 100 passing yards, and if you look at it, overall they only had 248 total yards all game long. And for them to do that, and just think, you didn't have, your starting corner in Alante. You seen Kool-Aid out there for a little while. You didn't see DeMario today. You seen some of the people that, like Chase Young, them played. Like, you had, not all your starters, and then they still look pretty damn solid. And, shout out to the defense being able to do that. And if I was the Saints, the only person that I would try to even, to be honest with y'all, tank for in this draft and next year, if he even decides to come out next year either, it's just the receiver, man, from Ohio State, Jeremiah Smith. That'll be the only person I'm taking for, because we definitely need some wide receiver help. That'll be the only person I would look for. Everybody else, you can say maybe Nussmeier, maybe, cool. But at the same time, I got to see what we got in Rattler and Sucks first, because I ain't going to just cut them off yet, because they both don't have a fair opportunity yet,
Yeah, I mean, I even think with like Nussmeier, like I know Logan is high on him, but even with him, I mean, I've seen some struggles. Now, don't get me wrong, that O-line hasn't been great and stuff like that, but like I've seen some decision making in that. I don't follow college football as much as what I should, and I will be keeping a close eye this year. But like the people that automatically jump him as QB1 out the draft and stuff like that, I'm sitting there like I'm just not really sure. I'm just not really sure.
Yeah, I don't think he's QB1. He's probably, I mean, if there's going to be anyone that's QB1 in this draft, it's probably going to be Klubnik, since Arch ain't coming out, and either Klubnik or Lenora Sellers, who I really like as well. But
I've heard a lot about Klubnik. I don't know about Lenore, so I'll have to do some film on him.
Right, so, and then they got Kevin Jennings out of SMU, who I think is a more mobile version of Teddy Bridgewater. So I really think Nussmeier can be QB3. And I think it's going to be a QB heavy draft next year. Just exclude an Arch, which I'm sure everyone's still saying.
Well, and I think this draft and next year is supposed to be QB heavy, right? From what I've heard.
In 27, I think the only 2 players I know that's coming out in 2027 are Arch Manning and Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State, the receiver. Other than that, I have no earthly clue.
Oh, you might be right. I know I was hearing a lot of things about the Penn State quarterback.
Yes, Drew Aller. I think he's coming out 26.
He's coming out 26. Okay.
I'm pretty sure he is. So it's going to be interesting to see if Tyler Shuck implodes, which I hope he doesn't. I hope he does really well. Or if Spencer Rattler implodes, which I hope neither one of them do.
Explodes. Hope they explode, man.
I hope they both are successful for us, because I want us to win, but if things go south, and I mean like the deep south, then you're probably looking at Nuss Bust territory, because Doug Nussmeier is the OC, and if he tells Kellen, "Hey, I want my son," are you really going to tell your offensive coordinator no? I mean,
Yeah.
let's be honest here.
Yeah, I mean, like from what we've seen so far, to me, it just feels like there's no one that stood out to say that this is the quarterback one of the future. And that doesn't mean, and this is preseason. Everybody has to remember that this is preseason. There's so much more to go. We can get through the first 5 or 6 weeks and everything look a little rough, and then go week 7 to week 17, and then all of a sudden, or week 18, and all of a sudden looks like a different story. So you know, we got to realize that these guys are all young and they have to develop. Not everybody is going to be Jaden Daniels. Not everybody's going to be CJ Stroud. Not everybody's going to be Bo Nix. You know, it has been more common to where, you know, these first round quarterbacks in the draft turn out to be something, but it isn't a common normality where through the last 10 years, how many of them have actually stayed in the league and have actually done. I mean, let's take a look at Anthony Richardson. Let's take a look at Daniel Jones. Let's take a look at we can go really back, go to Jamarcus Russell. Let's take a look back at all of these guys.
Jamarcus Russell,
they don't grow on trees, man. I'm sorry. Eddie, go ahead.
No, you're good. The one thing I will say is though, we did, we did what everybody else did, passed up on Shadur, right? Which I think he's going to turn out to be something good. But I want y'all to hear me out on this one though too. Guess what happened with Spencer Rattler? He was ranked in to come out to be a first round, a second round pick, but the year before he got knocked out, and he wound up going on to play for South Carolina because Caleb Williams, beat his spot. From there, they still projected him to possibly be a second, third round pick, but not a first anymore, but a second or third. And he fell all the way down to the 5th because some teams didn't know about his, his play, his attitude, kind of like a Shadur thing. Didn't know how he would be matured and all that. But you've seen over the last year, this dude's matured the way he talks in front of the cameras, in front of everybody. It seems like he's matured and he knows what he, wants, and he wants that, he wants to be that starting quarterback. So just to knock off Rattler already, like some people are trying to, not saying y'all are, but some fans are.
Oh, for sure.
This dude was at once a first round, draft pick missing. But then last year when we drafted him, he was supposed to be a second or third, but fell all the way to the 5th. And it's just like Shadur. Everybody did not know. They know Sanders has the talent, but they were like, I don't know about his personality. I don't know if he can lead a team. I don't know if he's going to be mature enough for this team. And they let him go, and guess what? He's proving people wrong. He's showing people what he can do on the field so far. So shout out to him as well, doing good in his first preseason game. So.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, like the way I look at it is like this draft was really weird. This was a this was your potatoes draft, man. It was O-line, D-line, and different guys like that. So realistically, like outside of probably Cam Ward and outside of maybe Jackson Dart, I like, and that I'm even on the fence with. I don't think any of these quarterbacks would normally be drafted as high as what they would. I've talked about this before as far as like Tyler Shuck and Shadur thing. I think Tyler Shuck and Shadur are both like third round prospects. Probably Shuck was probably more even a little bit later than that, just because of the legacy of what Shadur Sanders has in his potential. And this is something that I talked with Nick Underhill the other day about, where confidence really matters. And that is something that I've yet to see from Tyler Shuck, is that unwilling confidence to where when you make a mistake, you just go out there and just go play again. You just go play. Like you can tell through Shuck throughout training camp, throughout practice, where he's scared to make certain throws and make certain plays because he lacks that confidence to do so. And we saw that through the 7-on-7 where he ran out of bounds like a jackass. And then we finally saw on, I think it was on Thursday's practice a couple weeks ago, where he finally threaded the needle and found Olave in between two linebackers. And I asked him about it. I was like, do you think he makes that play a week prior? And he's like, no, I don't think he does. It's a confidence thing. Like, we evaluate quarterbacks based off of what we've seen, but we don't evaluate quarterbacks based off that confidence. And one thing Shadur has is a heap load of confidence. Mm-hmm. And that also plays a big part in the NFL, because how many good quarterbacks come in? Caleb Williams, one of them. Good quarterbacks in college come out don't have the confidence to go ahead and make the plays, make the throws that they need to do. So they forego them. They take sacks or they throw the ball away, and they don't ever become something. You look at the great quarterbacks, Drew Brees, we're talking about current era, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, even right now, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, they make those dangerous throws because they have confidence in their ability. And confidence is something that I feel like that isn't evaluated enough when it comes to evaluating a quarterback coming out of college.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to be honest with y'all, I think the quarterback room is getting a little bit better besides Jake Hader, he just ain't showing me nothing. It just seems like he just might not be here much longer. But, with the potential of, Rattler and Suggs, QB, we all, from the beginning, right, Logan, we all said, okay, Tyler Suggs, the starting quarterback, Rattler's not going to have that shot because this is Kellen Moore's guy. But throughout training camp and all the stuff we're hearing, Rattler still has that head lead. And people can even say, well, Suggs played a little bit better, with more passes today. But at the same time, Rattler still has the lead. At the end of the day, until we see these people full gear playing in real season with the starters, we don't know what they look like because when you look in training camp, because you look at training camp, right, and you look at Rattler with the starters, he's killing it in camp. You put Shucks with the starters in camp, he's struggling. But finally had a good day recently, like the last practice or something like that. They said he did really good.
Yeah, it was a Thursday. Everybody was like, "Oh, it's a close practice," so he was looking good. And I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna interrupt you. I'm sorry, Odie.
You good?
My bad. Guys, when has especially this year has the Saints reporters and beat reporters been lying to y'all and not showing the good, the bad, and the ugly? They've been showing majority of everything. They've been showing all the bad passes. They've been showing all the good passes. And they've been giving y'all very equal evaluations. This isn't the same situation where they were trying to save DA's ass and they were not allowing them to post certain things. This isn't that same situation. Just because it was a closed practice doesn't mean that you can't trust these guys like Sigler, like Ross Jackson, like Nick Underhill, like Jeff Nowak. It doesn't mean you can't trust these guys at this point.
Speaking of that, I didn't want to cut you off because you said his name. Speaking of Nick Underhill, shout out to me and him. Me and him covered and cleared up everything that was in the air. Just want to let y'all know that because the night I had Ross on, somebody went out and told him to go watch my thing and told him I was talking shit about him. And if you really listen to everything I said, I just said I think Ross is my favorite, one, but I think he's just a little bit better just because of the time frame, like how he always here to support the channel. He's out there, helping other YouTubers, and stuff like that as well. He just makes a lot of time for all the stuff he does too. And me and Nick Underhill, he respectfully came to me privately in a message, talked to it, and basically, and told me everything. And then, like I told him, I said at the end of the day, I didn't know, stuff that's going on in your life. But, at the end of the day, just as a person, just as a fan of, Saints football, if I didn't respect you and, like you as a reporter, I would have never paid my money that I do, to the subscription to get his stuff from NOF.com. I still have a subscription that ain't due to next year sometime. So I'll support everything. And like I said, I just like Ross a little bit better than him. But at the same time, I told him, I said, you're still my second one because y'all two are the both top reporters that I like for my Saints. I like y'all both. So I'm glad to clear that out the air because whoever went there and tried to make it seem like I was talking shit and I didn't like him and I was hating on him, I would never hate on Nick Underhill. And shout out to Nick Underhill for even telling me, he said, pick a day, any day I want throughout the day. It's got to be through the daytime. But I'm always working during the daytime. But pick a day throughout the week that's daytime. He can come on anytime and, go live with me. So I got to find a day that's daytime that he can come on for me that I'm not working. So it might be a Tuesday morning or something that I might have to do on my day off and, get him on. So shout out to you, Nick Underhill.
Yeah, man. Shout out Nate. Go ahead. Yeah.
The bounce off of that, if anyone wants to tell Nick anything, I've been trying to get in touch with Nick for ages to hire me for anything because he had a job open in the NOF not too long ago. I applied for it. I don't know if he hired, but if y'all want to tell Nick anything, tell him I'm looking for a job. I would love to work for him. So whoever was telling him that Hoodie had beef with him, do the same for me, but say I want a job. maybe help us out or help me out, something, please.
Hell yeah, hell yeah, man. Look,
Yeah.
they're all, man. They're all so hard working, man. Like watching them work at the I know we're getting near the end of the show. We're all just bullshit and stuff, but man, watching them work at the training camps and stuff like that, bro.
Yes.
They are sprinting across the field side to side, and it's so funny, man. Like this is the one thing I love about all the beat reporters and everybody everybody that works for the Saints, bro. They're running back to side, and every fans chant, they yell out their names, they turn around, they say hey, they wave and everything like that. They try to like dap up, and they're dapping up out there looking at the place so they can't miss nothing. You know what I'm saying? That they really out there doing some good work, man.
Yeah.
So like I think I said this a couple weeks ago as far as the Saints reporters go. We have been seeing. I don't know if y'all follow or subscribe to other content creators or other journalists and stuff like that across all the NFL teams. Yeah, some of those teams only show the good and never show the bad, and then others only show the bad and don't show the good. Saints Sport show a little bit of all of it. So there are guys that you can trust. Yeah.
And shout out to, and I want to give Nick Underhill another shout out. Shout out to him, man. He's got his own work van now too. Like as soon as he get out of practice, gets right in there and got a travel van. I thought that was pretty sick. Like that's pretty cool to have like a travel van where you can go out of practice and go straight into your van and start streaming and giving up the news right away. That's pretty damn sick. That would be cool to have a travel van, like you travel, go watch them, practice, get your news, and then get right in there and start streaming. That's cool.
As soon as after practice ended, he was in the little. It's just a base, like it's the same like little trailer that you would put like lawn equipment in that he built out into a studio. And he had Ian Rappaport in it, and a couple other guys like that. Their camp, it's really good, dude. Yeah, that's.
I appreciate you. I'm not number one Saints reporter. I ain't no damn reporter. But you can say the number one Saints YouTuber if you want. But then you might affect and get Zach mad over here.
That's right. No. Because you always the number one, bro. Because I wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for Hoodie Jew, man. Hoodie Jew has helped build my channel, brother. So I always show appreciation, man.
And the funny thing is too is that it didn't start with me. It all started with Aaron, B&G Breakdown, and my guy Big Q from the the Big Q, the Sports Coma, and also TJ. TJ helped out along the way as well. So like those three kind of like made a I guess what you want to say a footprint, and I followed kind of in that path to kind of do the things. The only thing I do differently than some of them is almost every show besides tonight because we got to end it a little bit. Usually I bring people on. I like to take care of my subscribers as well. I like to go to Saints games with them, people who can't afford them. I like to do giveaways and stuff like that. That's the only difference that I'll do than some of the other ones. But other than that, they do their stuff, man. They know their Saints football. They know how to keep you engaged, and they know how to motivate you, and they know how to help other people grow as well. And that's what you love about and that's the number one thing. I don't think we have one Saints content creator out here that's just selfish. Like everybody's all one another, helping each other, and became a big family, right?
I mean, Hoodie. I remember when we first met during what was it? We were supposed to meet during a training camp or something like that, and we end up
getting rained out.
Yeah, end up getting rained out. We end up meeting up with Ross Jackson. We went and got dinner with our boy from from Weedats. Jesus Christ!
Well, the Nola Bros.
I'm an ass. Nola Bros. My boy. We met up with him. We all got to hang out. We all talk. We all have conversations, stuff like that. We met up with TJ last year during the Carolina game when he came down and did a live stream for one of the bars. So everybody works together, man. And it's very different because I follow a bunch of different. Or I'm in a couple of different circles with other fan bases and stuff like that. And like one is the Titans, bro, and they are like toxic. They like can't stand that another channel or creator or whatever is growing faster than theirs are, and they try to talk crap about them. And I'm like, what are we talking? What are we doing, man? Like I thought we were all on the same page. But yeah. Yeah, shout out to New Orleans Saints, man. Creators, journalists, all that stuff, man.
I mean, there's a few out there. I mean, I don't have any beef with anybody, but I would like this. The only thing I can say is a lot of them did ghost me personally after I lost my job last year. Not cool on their part, but I get it. People get busy. But, I mean, you know, I went to a networking event Friday for Ken Trahan and got to talk to a few people. So they now know that people have been ghosting me, and hopefully they stop ghosting me soon. But I love all of these reporters anyway, no matter what.
Whether or not they figure it out now, they'll learn later, Logan. That's
Yeah,
right.
they'll learn later.
It's all about they'll learn later.
AKA the scientist said, Hoodie Jew, where is homegirl from Australia, the Seahawks fan? She hasn't really been in here lately during the football. She's been here for the Motivational Monday the past 2 Mondays. By the way, shout out to everybody that's watching. I want to let y'all know, if you feel like you're not close to God and you want to get closer to Him, and you feel like you're not there and you want to get motivated, tomorrow night we're going to be having episode 3, which episode 1 and 2 has been a banger, and 3 is going to keep being a banger. So if you're a WWE fan, and you know Seamus when he says bangers at the bangers at the bangers, that's what we're doing on my show. We're having bangers at the bangers, man. Hearing stories from other people, how God affected them, how to motivate each other and all that, and how we all can help each other get close to the Lord and get our lives better. And that's gonna be tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. So I want y'all to tune on in. And AKA, that's probably where you're gonna find Miss Megan. She'll be in there again probably because she's been in the last 2 shows. But Logan and Zach, I do want to ask y'all this last question. Is there anything that we need to touch up on before we get out of here that we maybe not touched up on today's preseason games or anything? Like, is there anything that we need to touch up before we head out of here?
I don't think so. I think we touched on everything. The only thing I will say is running back 2 is wide open. I mean, the that's basically it. Everything else is wide open as well on offense, but defense is solid. And bring on game 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll piggyback right off that. Defense, good luck fighting for your spot because there's a lot of guys that are fighting. Offense, someone show up. We're begging for it. And I saw AKA said, shout out Uneducated Sports. Hey, my guy Carlos, man, look. Carlos been working his ass off. He just got another promotion. For those that follow Uneducated Sports Sub, my guy Carlos and PJ, he just got another promotion that means more training and all the kinds of stuff like that. So that's why he hasn't been on that much. But Carlos has been doing good, fam. And but yeah. Defense, good luck fighting for a spot, and offense, someone please, for the love of God, show up.
I agree with all y'all. But before we head out of here, man, everybody knows, man, every time before I end a podcast, whether it's a Saints content podcast or, whether it's a, Motivational Monday, no matter what, kind of podcast it is, I always like to end it off on a positive note and always, end it on a prayer. So everybody that's in here, if y'all want to pray, pray with us. If you don't, I understand. But let's get this prayer out here real quick. Let's bow our heads. Lord, we just want to come to you today and thank you for the number one thing, and that's just letting us wake up and living in the day, Lord. That's just showing that you got a purpose for us, and we get to live that purpose for you every single day. Lord, also, we want you to put your hands over those who need your help, whether they need you, financially, mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever the case may be, Lord. Just come out there, put your hands over them, guide them in the right path, and showing that they got a brighter future ahead of them. Also, Lord, we just want to thank you for an amazing Sunday, and also just bringing football back, not just for Saints fans, but just for all football. We all love our sports, and we love to, be able to watch these sports. But also, we want you to put your hands over those who have been infected so far about, from injuries. We don't like injuries. We want to see people be able to play and live out their dreams. But unfortunately, injuries do occur. So, Lord, if you can just put your hands over those people and heal those players and make sure they all good and taken care of as well. But with that being said, Lord, we love you. We appreciate everything you do for us. And we're going to pray to you again tomorrow night as well as we end our Motivational Monday podcast as well. In Jesus' name. And everybody says amen. Amen, baby. So, with that being said, y'all, thank y'all for watching. If y'all are new, please hit the dang like button for your boy. Hit the subscribe button if you are new as well. Or if you want to hit the follow because you might be on the Twitter side as well. So, like I said, just hit the subscribe, hit the follow. And also, my boy Logan, you see it in his @TheSoulMan57. Go look him up on Twitter if you want all your Saints news and all his starts on Saints football as well. And also, if you want to go follow my boy Zach at Real Fan Sports Saints or just Real Fan Sports as well. He does both channels. And follow him for his Saints content as well. But with that being said, I love y'all. And everybody, we always say, who, what?
Who that?
Who that, baby? And we'll be back shortly. Tomorrow night, Motivational Monday, episode 3.
Yes, sir.
Run it up, Panero. Say what they lie. Say what they lie. Say what they lie. Say what they lie. We screaming black and gold. We screaming black and gold. We screaming black and gold. We going to the bowl. We screaming black and gold. We screaming black and gold. We screaming black and gold. I lie. Saints going to the Super Bowl, talking black and gold. Young Nolan Hoodie Jew wanna beat me like you know. Chris Alive, AMT down the field.